in the bottom right, in the red, he is from Denmark, MAXPAX. And his opponent in the upper left in the orange, also doing the MAXPAX build, taking a great 3-game series against Goblin. He is Maximum Angel Astrea. I mean, I guess it's Max Angel, but you know, the maximum piece versus the greatest piece versus the greatest angel. That's a fun storyline that I will enjoy. But anyways, what I was saying is, again, I really do hope Steadfast gets the mainstream. He deserves it 100%. And I would watch the hell out of him if I'm not casting, which I hope I'm casting stuff as well. Point being, I think it's pretty likely that we end up getting paired up for at least one of the B-stream days. I hope. Fingers crossed. I would very much like that. I enjoy working with him. So, trying to find room to get the duo polished. The Balefest. Or Steadmulf. One of the two. I don't know. Get that polished up to a mirror shine. So, when we are... when we're on, not stage, but we're on the virtual stage, we sound as good as we possibly can. Got to gargle some rocks so you can get the deep NPR, or the deep, gravelly, glorious announcer voice. So, what do we got here? MAXPAX. He's doing a very typical MAXPAX thing where he's got a pylon down. He's dropping a bunch of shield batteries, forcing Astrea to pull probes on the off chance the MAXPAX is going to be super aggressive. He's not really. What does he have on the map right here? Is he's got a Zealot that he always makes. He always sends across the map. He's got a Stalker as well. And these are things that he's not really trying to end the game with. He would love to. He would love to. But at this point, most players have kind of figured out that if you go for the MAXPAX build, you cannot skip early gateway units because it just doesn't really work. MAXPAX will run those units across the map. He will kill you with it if you're not prepared. So MAXPAX at this point, he is prepared, or he's been prepared against, really. The pylons are going to go down. The shield batteries were all canceled. And Astrea knows that, okay, there's an Oracle coming up behind this. I kind of know what you got doing here, dude. He should be fine. And for now, he should have everything that he needs to. That being said, this is a wide open base. And Astrea, yeah, okay, so that's exactly what he needs. He's going to hold here in the natural, or he's going to hold in the main with the Oracles. Or with the shield battery, excuse me, with the Oracles. And in the natural, when MAXPAX inevitably dives in, he's got a shield battery there too. And a bunch of Stalkers. Now, of course, Oracles can kill probes through shield batteries. It takes a while, and it takes like 9 or 10 ticks. I forget exactly how many. But as we do see here, things can die. And of course, when the shield battery runs out of energy, things definitely die. 8 workers will go down. Astrea trusting just a little bit too hard to the safety of a shield battery when you can eventually DPS through it. And if Astrea does not move army where it needs to, well, it's not going to be nearly as effective because, well, the point of a shield battery is to delay that pressure, not to end that pressure. Yep. I thought we saw a Stargate from Astrea too, but I guess that's not correct. This is just Blink. Thank you, Matt in the crown. Yeah, we all have very different styles. You know, it's kind of interesting seeing how we've built ourselves up. You know, Chicken Man is just this really chill dude who talks about StarCraft. Makes you feel like you're just kind of hanging out in his living room, having a beer, talking about StarCraft. It's a good time. Steadfast, of course, making his name in part just by having a really good game understanding and grinding out games like no one, grinding out tournaments like no one's business. Mad respect to him. I wish I could say, yeah, I'm going to cover every EPT Cup for a year and get myself gigs that way, which is what worked for him. It's what built his following. But unfortunately, I can't quite do that. I wish I could, even if it is a large grind, you know. And then there's me. I try to differentiate myself through A, production value, and B, just, you know, that height? Sometimes. Maybe less so in early rounds of ET Cups, but it's fine. As MAXPAX here, he's going to get rather aggressive. He's got a pylon on the map, 4 gateways to warp in on. And Astrea is going to find this out now. And we got not a base trade necessarily, but a positional trade, because already the stalkers of Astrea, all 4 of them are going to find their way in, but this means Astrea cannot hold this base, not at all. It is a lot of stalkers versus really none at all here. Stalkers warping in, of course, like 2 stalkers worth of supply is in this robo that's not doing anything. MAXPAX, it feels like he's found the inside track here. This always going to get the robo too. It's an Artosis pylon, no warp-ins at the natural whatsoever, no immortals as well. So this army of MAXPAX is just indomitable here. 4 stalkers are never, ever going to be enough for Astrea to hold. MAXPAX, he blinks on top. Another stalker will go down. Meanwhile, the stalkers for Astrea, they're being dealt with. It's not a big deal because it was only 4 of them. That is something the MAXPAX can kind of warp in and, well, at the very least, even if not kill, force away. So the probes are getting pulled in. Oh, I love this. The Oracle at the end, because yeah, probes are really good against, say, stalkers. They're really terrible against oracles, and GG. MAXPAX with the better move. He sweeps the leg from Astrea and takes game number 1. So, of course, MAXPAX opening with the patented MAXPAX build. This should surprise no one. Berlingrad is not a map that everyone opens single gate expand. MAXPAX does this, but he does this in literally every single map. Well, that wasn't a fake cannon rush there, Silent Dream. The point of rushing those shield batteries down was because MAXPAX knows that Astrea knows that MAXPAX always builds like a Zealot Stalker. So if you allow those shield batteries to get up, it means the Zealot Stalker that gets run across the map never dies. You lose infrastructure. And sometimes with the Stargate follow-up, which tends to be Phoenix, if MAXPAX finds an advantage, you just lose the game. So that was not a, wow, I'm going to drop cannons. It was just more of a, wow, you need to pull workers and deal with this, because otherwise I'm going to have an emplacement in your base and just enough units that you're going to have some real problems. And that wasn't even necessarily a Blink Stalker timing attack meant to end the game. It was just, you know, MAXPAX took his entire army across the map. Astrea sent 4 Stalkers, which is a wonderfully middle-of-the-road push. Middle of the road is not great against either extreme. Yeah, it's funny, Matt in the Crown. The biggest advantage, as I say this without my headset on right now, but the biggest advantage I found almost immediately when I got my microphone set up as it is so I could monitor what I was hearing. Well, before then I had a voice meter set up, and with the VSTs I had applying to it, it was delayed enough that it was more distracting than helpful. Yeah, I'm so sad about MAXPAX not being in the global finals, that is. But the biggest thing I found almost immediately on having this set up was because I could hear myself more presently. I would just hear whatever my voice sounded like in my ear. I was making far less casting mistakes or speaking mistakes almost immediately, as we're going to have this adept in the natural. 2 workers go down. Will it be a 3rd? Will it be a 4th? The answer is no, but MAXPAX, 3 probes for 1 adept. Yes, please. Anyway, I found myself making far less speech mistakes because I was actually able to hear what I was saying, and it helped me get focused on what I was saying. And also, because I was focused then, I was also more focused on what my co-caster was saying. What I previously had was a little headset boom mic, because Oracle will not get too much of anything. You know, like an Antlion mod mic. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's a little stick-on mic that is a boom mic that goes to your headset. But I didn't have monitoring for it. It was a little 9mm, you know, aux cable mic. And because I couldn't hear what I was saying, I was just not nearly as accurate. Oh, Silent Dream, it's okay. I'm not mad at you for saying something incorrect. If people got mad at me for saying something incorrect, I would have flamed out of the scene long ago. Yes. Anyway, we got some pressure coming out of the map from Astrea right now. It's only 2 gate with Blink, so It's not committed in the slightest, but MAXPAX did cancel everything that he had. He had shield batteries, he had other things. And again, we're seeing this game where as ships pass in the night, I think MAXPAX has the better of it. Astrea has just 2 Stalkers on the other side of the map waiting for Blink to finish, but we have 3 Stalkers and 2 Void Rays running across the map here. We're going to just have to see a recall, I think. Astrea, does he choose to commit? Does he choose to recall his army? I don't know, but regardless, this is an open and empty natural, and it's going to be very hard for Astrea again to do similar damage, because probes against Stalkers are pretty good. So we're going to have to see these Stalkers get recalled immediately here. But this time, it's a bigger bait. Astrea, he's losing so many workers, though. Even if he kills the Void Rays, even if he kills the Stalkers, will it be worth it? 15 workers have paid the iron price here, and that now means that Astrea, he's down 8 workers. He's got more army, and maybe that's going to work out for him here as some of his pylons or some of his gateways, actually both of them were depowered. They should be repowered soon. But it's going to be Blink Stalkers versus no Blink Stalkers. Some of the army supply, the already paltry supply of MAXPAX, it's in Adepts running on the other side of the map. And Astrea actually has a very significant chance here that he will be able to break MAXPAX because A, shield battery's down. B, that's a single pylon there. But instead he's going to do the thing that so many Protoss players have done before. It's a sentry into a hallucination. Oh, wait, do hallucinated Archons break force fields? I'm not really sure, actually, but the Archon is going to run forward anyways. Stalkers, they're not going to quite get the Void Ray just yet, but of course now Astrea, he's starting to take even more damage here. The Void Ray goes down, probes getting pulled by MAXPAX, and that's what the Archon was for, saying, hey, MAXPAX, don't pull your probes, because, well, I've got an Archon, be afraid, but the Archon doesn't do anything. So MAXPAX will maintain safety behind this wall. The pressure of Astrea is starting to fall just a little bit, but Blink is not yet done for MAXPAX. And he's still short on gateways. He still only has 2. He's still only at 4 Stalkers on the map as the grand totality of his army. Oh, well, most of us are humans, LT rank. Mistakes are allowed for most of us. You personally, you're not allowed to make any mistakes. But everyone else, you're fine. As Astrea now is going to knock down another gateway here. So we're looking at, again, 2 gate to 2 gate. MAXPAX will not be able to have any advantage in that production factor. So looks like he will be able to survive, though. This is a lot of very low Stalkers here for Astrea. So MAXPAX, as he blinks forward, he finally is going to be able to knock this army out from his front door. So what is he going to do in exchange? How does he find some advantage in this game where none has really existed thus far? The answer, my friends, is the idea, at least, is in DTs. But, Astrea, he already has 2 observers. He has a 3rd one on the way. This is not one of those games where it is Twilight versus Twilight, and there is no Robo, there's no Stargate, there's no detection. And we saw a game end like that last night in Geralt versus Christianer. But I think Astrea has done enough to come back. He's now up 12 workers. He has his charge just about done. His +1 is in a good spot. It's not game ending, but it's in a good spot. And we've seen what Astrea can do from these like questionable lead positions. Look at the game against Goblin game 3. He kind of actually, maybe that's not a it's not a glowing recommendation, because he kind of threw his advantage in the mid game. But even still. Now MAXPAX getting aggressive here with the 1 red herring Stalker in the natural, killing as much as he can, but that's not a lot. MAXPAX trying to get aggressive onto the 3rd base as well, but Astrea, he's fine. He has charge on these Zealots. The Stalkers are just plentiful enough that, again, MAXPAX finds no value. The hallucinated Archon, I think in part, I don't know whether hallucinated Archons break force fields actually, but I think the big thing was to prevent the probe pull. I'll ask Astrea after this game actually, but I think the plan was to prevent the probe pull, because probes against Stalkers are surprisingly good. So if you just fight Stalker versus Stalker when you have a Stalker lead, that is a lot better than your opponent kind of pulling the probes as well. We will see the Observer go down. Astrea saying, yeah, I've had enough time on 3 bases when you've only had 2. It's time for me to get aggressive here. I've got Zealots. I've got advantages. And he's going to try to make that happen. Stalkers, though. They will blink on top of a couple of Zealots on the left side. And Astrea says, okay, that's my timing. Time to get aggressive here into your third base. Knock down some of your static defense immediately. The Zealots finding their way into the natural as well. Not here to flank the army, just here to get copious, brutal damage as all of the sentries go down. All of the Stalkers, they got to blink on home. They got to deal with stuff. So MAXPAX, he's lost 18 probes. His economy is in shambles, but remember, DTs are finding their way on into the main. If they can look to A, eviscerate the economy, B, depower the production of MAXPAX, of Astrea, maybe that's going to be something. But Astrea, he is still in a fairly good spot. He has observers here, which means these DTs are not going to get nearly as much as they would like. The third base, it's under fire, but I don't think this dies. I think MAXPAX has just barely enough. And the DTs, they're doing a great job of trying to equalize the damage, but not quite. They're not quite getting it. Now, we will see the Immortal go down as the third base will stay alive. MAXPAX equalizing his army supply and kind of maintaining at a similar level of army deficit. So I think at the end of the day, that ended up being quite good for MAXPAX. I mean, still a game when you're down 12 workers is not good in PvP, but you know, he equalized a lot of these supplies, and that is, of course, going to favor him just a little bit. But now +2 is done in 10 seconds. And with +2 being done, the power of Astrea's army to take these head-on engagements and also to get really good harassment is significantly increasing. Now Astrea again. Really, this game has been a game of yo-yo, of seesaw, of tug of war. There we go. That's the analogy I'm looking for. One player has the advantage. They move forward. They run across the map. They lose the advantage. The other player runs across the map, has the advantage, loses it, runs back. It's really kind of funny. But in the tug of war, ever so slowly, we are starting to see the line kind of inch back towards the line of MAXPAX. No, the line of Astrea, right? Tug of war, you're trying to pull it back to your side. I saw Squid Game. I have played tug of war in the last 15 years, probably. Okay, but yeah, these DTs, they don't get too much done. And now Astrea, just ever so slowly. We've been talking about supply advantages. He's now nursing a 30 army supply lead. He has superior upgrades as well. This is when you kind of expect to see the Protoss player win the game, but if the game against Goblin is anything to show us, just because you expect that to happen, it does not mean it happens. Not in a game of shield batteries and, well, Warp Prism Snipes. That actually has been the really big story of this series and the last. Really clutch Warp Prism Snipes that have denied pressure that otherwise probably would have won the game on the reinforcement. Oh, interesting. Astrea is getting a second forge when he already has +3 halfway on the way. So I guess he's going to get armor and shields. Huh. I guess he's just feeling that comfortable in his economy, but that's interesting. Yeah, MAXPAX is ridiculously good at PvP. There's a reason that back last year, we saw Drogo hire MAXPAX to coach him in PvP when they were in the same group. Because he was willing to give up MAXPAX getting a sure win over him in exchange for maybe knocking down the rest of the Protoss players, which is just crazy. It's like I'm giving my opponent a couple maps because it increases my chance of getting out of the group, which is, again, that's kind of really interesting psychology there. Anyways, at this point, Astrea, he's getting his 5th base now. He's maintaining that 1 base up on his opponent. Disruptors are out for MAXPAX, and of course, Disruptors are the ultimate comeback unit. We have seen explosions and, or actually non-explosions, really defining that game of Astrea versus Goblin. But the good news for Astrea, actually, as we see 3-1 just about finished, the really good news for Astrea here is he will find both a Robo and a Disruptor. It looks like very well done there from the Maximum Angel. And honestly, he can probably take this fight anyways with good blinks. But no, he's just going to back up. His +3 is not done. It's in 2 Disruptors. He can wait. Where was I going with that? I got distracted by stalkers blinking and blinking and blinking. But anyways, as MAXPAX tries to expand further and further, actually looks like Astrea was able to cancel, if not kill. Looks like Astrea was able to kill that, actually. So massive move there. That is expensive as anything. Stalkers move on forward. Disruptor shots are going to go off, but no. Great splits there from Astrea. At the end of the day, this is what we almost saw but did not see when Goblin attempted the same thing. So all the disruptors of Astrea are dead. Excuse me, of MAXPAX are dead. Astrea has not had any as the Stalkers playing on forward. Zealot's flanking in from the side. The army of MAXPAX falling down. But he will remove relevant detection from the area for the moment, which does means that DTs can reign supreme. Astrea cannot get too much done. What I was trying to say... Oh, okay, GG. It's like, it's not enough. In the bottom right here, in the red, taking game one, falling in the ladder, he is MAXPAX. And of course, his worthy opponent in the bottom left in the orange here, taking a master class game number 2 for Alpha X. Put your hands together for Astrea. Malam, that was not an early tap out there for MAXPAX. He was kind of dead, and he was trying to make something happen, but was not successful. Oh, look at this. Astrea taking a page out of Goblin's book. Although this is only 2 gates, not 3. It's not quite as committed. But Astrea, yeah, again, taking a page out of MAXPAX's book as he leads the probe directly to it. I don't think you want to do that, Astrea, but also you can probably figure out... brilliant move. Okay, so let's talk about this for a second. Astrea accidentally leads the probe, leads the scouting unit of MAXPAX towards his proxy 2 gate. The moment the probe leaves the high ground, right? The moment that we're just like, oh, what's happening? You know, what is this? Is the moment that Astrea drops a 3rd gateway. It's a proxy 3 gate, but MAXPAX thinks it's a 2 gate, and that is a different response for a 2 gate versus a 3 gate here, as Astrea will lose 1 zealot, unfortunately. You do want these things to start snowballing. And this is our... I think MAXPAX has this already, though. Despite how cool this is, we have double adept popping out. And we've talked about, you know, micro ability of range units already a big deal. These adepts are really going to make a difference. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. That's a Cyber Core. So we're going to see Stalkers out. And Stalkers actually beat the Zealot Adepts. So maybe at the end of the day, this is not as bad as I thought it was. Zealots, though, they are going to get on top of this pylon. So for a moment, Astrea will be depowered, but he still has Stalkers, which means these Adepts will die. And I am less convinced. Okay, this is a second dead Adept here. I am less convinced of the status of things than I was a second ago. I don't think I've ever seen this. It's a brilliant move here from Astrea, I think. But I think at the end of the day, it's still not great because Astrea has not been able to break through, and it's not like he has shield batteries that he can kind of fall back to. He just has a theoretically greater... Actually, wait, he's going to get a 3rd Stalker. And MAXPAX is not going to have anything on the map right now, so that means this is the moment maybe when he breaks on through, but this is also the moment that a shield battery pops up, and there are 2 Stalkers here. So 2 Stalkers and a Zealot versus 2 Stalkers and a shield battery behind a wall. I think we both know how that one ends up. That is true, LT rank. I love that we are in an era where I can just throw StarCraft like a big stream or a big tournament up on my TV, and it works out pretty well here. So now, I mean, it is 4 Stalkers to 3. The shield battery is out of energy, and there is now a moment where these, you know, the warp gates are not going to be building anything because they're turning into warp gates and not just regular gateways. There we go. 1 gateway will go down, so it's 2 gateways to 1. Astrea, he is taking the gold now here as well, as he is slowly, it feels like, at least trading evenly in these fights. Although MAXPAX, who has more Stalkers? It is 5 to 6, although it's quickly, soon enough, going to be well, soon enough going to be 7-6 in Astrea's favor. But what has he done here? He's bought himself an even work account. He's building stalkers off warp gates, so it's not like he is massively behind in tech. And he's got a gold base coming in. MAXPAX doesn't have a natural. He is really going to be committing to this main base, to this hold idea. And I love the addition of the Adept. That is such a big deal here. He's always going to find the probe that's going to try to build more things. Now, of course, Adept versus units, when you're looking at a game like this where there's a shield battery in the main, that becomes difficult. But even still, yeah, MAXPAX, he's on 3-gate now. This is effectively 1 base 3-gate robo versus 2 base 2-gate opener at the gold. And that actually tends to be fairly good for the 3-gate robo player, especially when the gold base has been found out, which means less mining there. Okay, the Stalkers are going to run on forward here. Just do what they can. But the army of MAXPAX is just really strong. It's 3 gateway robo. Like, the production is not really there. There's no static defense that keeps these units alive, which is how you tend to hold against 3-gate robo. So that's not a thing. We're going to see pylons get depowered extremely quickly. It's 5 Stalkers to 5, or actually I think that's 6. But this Immortal here is a big deal indeed. It will go down. It will get target fire down here, and the force field's not going to do too much. But even still, 3 gateways to 2 is such a big deal. Or actually, I'm sorry. 4 gates to 1. Or no, 3 gates to 2, because MAXPAX does, or Astrea does have 2 gateways at home. I don't know how to call this game. What am I saying? I've lost track of everything. It's fine. But it does mean that the gold base will be unpowered for a good long time here. The Stalkers on the other side of the map, or other side of the mineral line, just make life so difficult for Astrea. So gosh darn difficult. And I mean, theoretically, he's mining more, but he can, get one cycle of units at a time before things go down. He is sending a probe to repower these gateways, so he's going to go up to 6-gate pretty soon. Effectively, as he does. Well, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is going to be 5-gate, which is something. I don't think you can support 5-gate on one base, though. So Astrea, he's going to lean into the base trade. And I think he marginally has first mover's advantage, especially considering he has units on the map, or has structures on the map that are closer to what he has. But the sentries, it is just going to be such a problem. MAXPAX can theoretically just kind of perpetually warp in sentries, so instead it's going to be the recall here at home. Probes getting pulled, so many Stalkers, but I mean, MAXPAX just kind of goes down the ramp. He has sentries. That means Astrea cannot run down the ramp here, and MAXPAX playing this game like a fiddle. This is insane. What a great job he has done finding every little thing he needs to do to eke out small advantages. And I mean, we're seeing that advantage now. It is a 16 army supply lead. The gold base of Astrea, that was kind of the piece de resistance of the Astrea build, is not a thing. These 2 adepts that warped in are not going to do all that much. There's no robo for Astrea, nothing that allows him to get down the ramp, no blink either, as we see. Looks like MAXPAX taking this opportunity to punch onto the high ground. We see the Colossus there just walking up to the high ground, providing high ground vision and just something to shoot at. And the micro here of MAXPAX, it looks like he's blinking, and he's blinking with Sentry Suit, because just for the hell of it, as now Astrea, he pulls his probes. He's got to make the hold right here, right now, or he loses out on his shot at the semifinals against Solar. And it looks like it's just not going to happen. The army of MAXPAX is not dying. He's doubling the supply of Astrea at this point, and Astrea has played 3 excellent games. This is such a cool game in game number 3, but unfortunately, it was not cool enough. The Immortal fighting his way across. GG Astrea. He falls down. MAXPAX wins. He's got a date with Solar in the semifinals.